Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So someone sent me a message and said I should talk about Australian system of education. I should talk about racism in school, bullying, because most of them want to come to Australia and they're coming with their kids. They don't know how the school run here and what are the things that they need to look out for. So that is why I'm doing this video, and they also want to know if Australian school is free or not. So if you want to find out, like the person that sent this message, please watch till the end because you're going to learn one or two things from this video. Welcome back. In case you're seeing my channel for the first time, my name is Uche. Here I share how you can live and thrive in Australia. So like I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Australia's system of education. First, I would like you guys to know that Australia runs 4 terms here. That we have 4 terms. In case if your child is in primary school or secondary school or going to kindy, unlike other places that is just 3 terms. And the first year of school in Australia starts in January, ending January or early February, depending on the school where you're going to, and it ends in December. So December is when they have the long holiday. You know how back home in Nigeria you do July and you go for a long holiday till September. In Australia, the long holiday starts in December and you resume new class in January. So bear it in mind that if your child is coming here to study, you're going to be having 4 terms. Another thing I want to talk about is that we have various schools here in Australia. You can choose to go to a faith school. So faith school is a Christian school, whether Catholic, Methodist, Seventh-day Advent, Muslim school. You know when I mean faith school, that's religion school. So some people can opt for that, which is private. And if you're going to go through that, you're going to pay school fees. We also have a private school. If you opt for that, you will also pay school fees. And we also have what we call the government school. Government school is run by the government. It's the same education framework that governs whether it's faith school, private school, or government school. You will get the same syllabus. The only difference is that the private school and the Christian school can add 1 or 2 things to their syllabus to make it a bit different. But that doesn't mean that because you're opting for government school, you will not be taught English, maths, science and all that. No, just that with the Christian school or a Muslim school, you know what I mean, you might get more of the religious knowledge and some other activities attached to the school curriculum, and also with the private school. So now that we understand that is the education body that governs these 3 bodies, it would be better for you to now know which one do I actually want my child to go for. Let's go to early education. So early education can be childcare or kindergarten. For childcare, you can put your child in any of the community-based childcare program in your area, in your suburb. And childcare in Australia is very expensive. For a day, you can pay up to 100 to 180 Australian dollars. If you have a permanent resident or citizen, or you are entitled to government subsidy, which can help you reduce that amount that I have mentioned here, the government will pay some and you would pay some percentage. So childcare starts from 6 weeks to 2 years. You can put your child in childcare. And if you don't have any subsidy or you cannot get any government benefits and you don't have money to put your child in childcare, then you have other options like getting a nanny. If you have the money for a nanny can charge you from 30 to 40 Australian dollars per hour to come to your house and take care of your child. Or you can find a family daycare around your area. A family daycare from $10 to 20 Australian dollars per hour. So for kindergarten, you have to be from 3 years to 4 years to go for kindergarten here in Australia. And kindergarten is run by private educators as well. There's no public kindergarten, meaning that you have to pay for your child to go for kindy. Depending on the school where you choose will determine how much that you're going to pay as well. So you can see a kindy from 700 Australian dollars to 2005 Australian dollars. So you have to be the one to check out the school that you feel is right for your child. So these are the early child education. The next one is prep. For you to go to prep, you have to be 5 years old or 5 years going to 6. And prep in Australia is just for 1 year because they are preparing them for primary school. So you can find prep in government school or in private school or faith school, whichever one you want to go for. It is your choice. So once your child is done with prep, it's primary school and secondary school. So in Australia, it is compulsory for your child to go to primary school down to secondary school. So for primary school in Australia, it is run from year 1 to year 6, or you can say grade 1 to grade 6. And for you to be in grade 1, you have to be 6 years old, irrespective of whichever school you are going for. So they run the same standard, whether you're going to private school, Christian school, or government school. So for government school, for anybody that wants to choose government school, you have to live in the catchment area where the school is. For example, I'm living in suburb A. My child has to go to any government school in that area. My child will not leave our catchment area to go to another suburb to go to school. Any school that is not in the catchment area where you're living, the government would not accept your child. Although if the school you're going for is in the catchment area, whether you come in between terms, the school has the right to take your child because your child lives in that catchment area. That is for government school. But for private school or Christian school, they do things according to their own policy. You can come in between term and you want to go to a private school or a Christian school and they don't have any openings. There's nothing they can do for you. They can only tell you to fill the form, put the application, and be on the awaiting list till when they have openings. Then they can call you guys. Unlike the government school, whereby you come in at the 31st of July and they are closing 5th of August. They will definitely register your child if you're in that catchment area. So I know a lot of you will be wondering that, what if I want to go to government school? Will they teach, especially Christian? I can say with my own experience, when we arrived Australia, we were in Queensland and my kids started with government school. And yes, during the application, we were asked if we want our kids to join the religious group that would teach them Bible studies and all that, and we said yes. So it is left for you to say yes or no. And even the school here where my kids go, because I wanted them to join in this video but they are not available to, I asked them few questions before making this video, and I was also told that they also had a place for both Muslim to pray and also for Christian, even though it is a government school. So for faith school, of course, because my son also went to a faith school, because it's a Christian school, is that Christian religious knowledge, because it's part of their compulsory studies. So even if you pass English and pass maths and you fail your religious knowledge, you have to rewrite it again. I want to believe that the same thing would also happen if you're going to like a Muslim school or any other faith school as well. For private school, I also know that you would be asked that if they have something like that in their syllabus, they would definitely ask you if you want your child to be taught that or not. So they are not going to impose it on your child or impose it on anyone. You need to be the one to say yes, you do. For faith school, even if you're not a Christian but you went to a faith school, you will definitely follow what they do in that school. So it is left for you to know which one you are comfortable with. That brings me to that question: do you pay school fees in Australia, whether you're going to government school or not? The answer is yes or no. Why did I say that? In Australian government school, depending on the visa you're coming with, if you're a permanent resident or a citizen, of course you're not going to pay for school fees. There are some temporal visa holders too that are exempted from paying school fees. If you're coming through study route, or some temporal visa holders that you don't have any government benefit, you will pay school fees if you're going to Australian government school. Although the government school fees is not expensive, it's not even up to 500 Australian dollars, depending on the state where you're going to. And hey, even if you're a permanent resident or citizen, it's only school fees that you're not paying, but there are some other things you need to pay. You will buy school uniform. It is compulsory, whether it's government school or private school. You will be the one to pay for your school uniform. You'll be the one to pay for your school books. You will also be the one to pay for some excursions and other things that they would do in the school. So in as much as the school fees is free for some people, but every other thing you have to pay for them. Then if you're going to a private school or a faith school, you would pay for everything. Whether you're a student or you're a PR or a citizen, you will pay school fees, uniform, and others. So that has answered the question. Now let's talk about racism, bullying, and discrimination, because I know that's another thing that a lot of new migrants coming in are worried about. Is there racism in Australian school? Of course there is. I won't say there is not. Is there bullying in Australian school? There is, and discrimination as well. But it doesn't matter the school where you are going to. I have seen some friends that their kids are in private school or Christian school, and one way or the other they were being discriminated. And I have also seen some people that went to government school and they went well without no bullying or racism. So you shouldn't judge because it's in private school, it would not happen. What happens in government school would also happen in private school or Christian school. I wanted my kids to come and talk about the racial thing because they are in school. I'm not in school with them, but they couldn't and there was no time. So I decided to ask them those questions. Two of my kids said no, they have not been bullied or they have not been discriminated in school. My first son, because I witnessed that, was actually bullied. I have to go to school to talk about it, and after talking about it, it went off because I told my kids that you have to build your self-confidence. If somebody does something to you and you don't like it, you have to speak up. You shouldn't keep quiet because you think nobody will believe you. Speak up or report it, then we can be able to stop it on time. So it's also good as a parent to always talk to your kids after school to know how they are doing in school, because sometimes some things might happen and they will not be able to tell you, and if you don't ask, there's no way you would know. What I'm trying to say is that don't use because of racism or bullying to say I'm not going to come to Australia. Even back home there are racism and bullying in school, so do not limit yourself because of such, okay? Talk to your child, give them the good morale, make sure that the people that they move around with are the people that have the same values. Another one that I know somebody also wrote to me to say I should talk about is the LGBTQ thing going on, that they teach that in school, that they impose it on kids. I also asked two of my teenagers about this and they told me that no, they don't. Although there's this app that they use in school that they call Google Class, that there is a space that they put such for whoever that want to go and read about it. But they are not coming to school to tell you that, oh, you have to become this or you have to become that. That is a thing of choice. And everybody also have their choice to make. All right, so please don't be worried about that with what is going on in the internet. Like if you come to school, it's compulsory for them to teach that. No, it is not compulsory. They have not. My daughter is in year 7, my son is in year 9, and none of them have been taught about LGBT. But yes, there is a room for it. If your child wants to go and learn about it, it is fine and good, but they are not imposing it on anybody. I hope I have cleared the fear with this that I have mentioned here. If you're coming to Australia and you want your kids to go to school, it's left for you to know which school you want your child to go. Like I mentioned, you can take them to Christian school and they might not even like it, and they would really enjoy government school or private school. You have to check your pockets, you have to check your belief, you also have to check what you want for your child. All right, all fingers are not equal. That you can afford a private school immediately you land doesn't mean that the other person taking their child to government school is lesser person. Your lifestyle, your pockets will determine whichever one you want to do. And I can tell you, whether you went to a government school or a private school, the same system of education that governs all these schools. So I hope this video helps someone planning to come to Australia with their family to have an idea how the system of education runs here and not to worry about racism and bullying, because I think Australia is very safe for kids and for family as well. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you guys in my next video.